book because there's so much to unpack. And it's, one of the reasons why I love the Bible is because it shows us that things never really change. As I stated on last week, the way we do things because, technology and things being invented, the way we do things might change. But the circumstances usually are the same. We have to deal with, crazy world leaders. In our day, he had to deal with crazy world leaders in his day. Just like in today's society, people are greedy and are led by their thirst and hunger for money. In Daniel's day, it was the same thing. Just like today, we have discrimination and hatred. One group think that they're better than another. We had that today, they had that back then. And also, the Bible reminds us not only do we have to deal with people, but it also reminds us that God remains the same. That the same God that walked with Daniel, the same God that delivered him and had favor on him in difficult circumstances, is the same God that is with us, that guides us when we have to deal with difficult circumstances, and that God never loses his power. God is just as powerful today as he was on yesterday. The same God that Daniel calls on, we can call on that same God to deliver us and to help us in our time of difficulty. So just a little recap, as we talked about last week, how Daniel's taken from his homeland. As stated, Daniel was part of that noble class, and we kind of say Daniel's like an upper middle class type of guy, but he's dedicated to the Lord. He's firm in his faith. And one of the positive things about Daniel is that we get the idea that he doesn't wait until tragedy comes to be dedicated to God. You kind of get the sense that he was always dedicated to the Lord, even before these terrible circumstances happen. And I think we can take a page out of Daniel's book in that we don't have to wait until tragedy strikes to try to strike up a relationship with the Lord. That every day, no matter what the circumstances may be, we should try to seek God and live according to his commandments and pray and have a relationship with him. Because when you have a relationship with the Lord, whether the times are good or whether times are bad, whether there's trouble or whether there's rejoicing, you're still connected to the Lord. So Daniel has a relationship with God even before he gets to Babylon. And it's that because of that relationship that he decides to stay dedicated to the Lord. In Daniel chapter 1, verse 8, it says, Daniel made up his mind that he would not defile himself with the king's finest food or with the wine which the king gave them to drink. There's something about just having a strong mind in the midst of a situation. To have a different perspective than the other folks around. Because remember, Daniel, he's not around other Babylonians, he's around other Israelites, he's around young men that he grew up with. These people went to the synagogue and they were taught the Torah, right? But they were willing to compromise. They just simply went along and ate the king's food. Now everybody's different. Maybe the other young men in Daniel's circle, maybe they felt some type of way that they had to go through this tragedy, right? Maybe they felt some type of way that they lost their